Hello, welcome back to Fallout 76. With the upcoming changes to the legendary crafting system, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect that lots of people will want lots of legendaries. But at the same time, I don't expect that everybody knows how to grind for legendaries. So let me show you how to get your hands on as many legendaries as you want. So this video will primarily focus on giving you a deep dive of a particular expedition, but before we do that, I'll also cover some of the other ways to get legendaries, just for the sake of completeness. But yes, the main focus of this video will be on the Boardwalk expedition, especially on how to solo it and be as efficient as possible. After you do this a few times, you'll be so full of legendaries that you won't be able to walk straight. The most obvious one is to do public events. Now the good news is that as part of the update, where is it? Oh yes, here we are. Eviction notice will come back. And as far as I understand, it will be back to its best. In other words, all the legendary enemies will drop 3-star legendaries. So one eviction notice should be enough to basically, I was gonna say reach your script cap, but that's no longer relevant, is it? People will be scrapping those legendaries. In any case, you'll get a horde of legendaries, right? Eviction Notice is the #1 event, and I think it will still be after the update. Or at least when it comes back. Another event that may surprise you with how many legendaries you get is Project Paradise. I've often found it to be one of the better ones, right? Not as good as Eviction Notice, but if you go over to Arctos Pharma when the event is on, there's a fair number of legendary enemies there. You might be surprised. But generally speaking, public events are an obvious way to get legendaries. Even the worst events tend to give you at least one or so legendary enemies, right? And on top of that, once you finish the event, you'll also be rewarded with modules. That used to be cores, but now the cores are disappearing, that should become modules, right? We don't know the exact figures, but events should give you legendary modules now. Now the problem with that approach is that those events only happen every 20 minutes. I believe that the private events that you can find throughout the world, yeah, like Dogwood Die Off, which everybody hates. Everybody who's ever done it once hates this event. But yes, I believe that a lot of these private events can give you some rewards. Nowhere near as good as the public events though. But basically, the problem with these events is that they only happen on a scheduled basis. So you can't farm them as much as you want. But on the other hand, something that you can start whenever you feel like it is daily ops. Right now it's double mutation weekend, so the rewards are doubled, but generally speaking, completing one successfully should give you both script, it still gives you cores, but those should become modules with the new update, and it also gives you a couple of legendaries. It is possible to do this multiple times, but you'll find that subsequent daily ops on the same day don't give you as many rewards, so generally speaking you should only do one of these. So those are the other ways to get legendaries, right? The recommended way, if you want as many legendaries as possible, is to run expeditions. Generally speaking, you want to do the Atlantic City expeditions because they give you bigger rewards, both in terms of stamps and they tend to be quicker. And if you want as many legendaries as possible, then obviously you want to grind them as often as possible, which means the shorter the better. So if we look at Atlantic City, there's 3 expeditions, you can do whichever one you like. But generally speaking, the casino and the flooded city tend to be a bit trickier when it comes to finding some of the optional objectives, right? Like for example, when you're looking for terminals. Unless you've memorized the entire map, which I haven't, they tend to be a little bit more difficult to get done quickly. On the other hand, the Boardwalk, aside from one of the optional objectives being an escort mission, is by far the fastest way to get as many legendaries as possible, because it is the fastest one. The downside is that it's timed, so if you don't know how to do it, then you can run out of time. But once you know how to do it, it is very straightforward and it is very quick. So I would thoroughly recommend that if you want to grind for legendaries, Boardwalk is the way to go. Once you finish loading, you'll spawn in this area. At the beginning there's a couple of optional objectives, so you can either go speak to Veraccio or the Basuri twins, but it's not necessary. What you should focus on is on this circle over there, the play area. Generally speaking, expeditions are divided into 3 phases. You've got your starting one here, and there's 3 options. The distance to the starting play area tells you which option you've got. Now, if the starting area was around here-ish, around there, then that would be the fireworks option. But in this case, it's pretty far away. The weapons that I tend to use here, in the first phase I would recommend using the cremator, just because the overgrown are actually much more susceptible to fire. A normal flame is just as effective, but the cremator tends to be more efficient. One shot tends to kill multiple enemies, so against the overgrown I would recommend the cremator. And for the human enemies, I would recommend using something like a plasma flamer, or alternatively a rail rifle. Basically something that hits hard and kills fast. Yeah, and there are 2 entrances here, by the way. There's one over here, which takes you along the boardwalk, and there's one over there, which you need to take if you get the fireworks option. So yes, it's not a bad idea to just bombard the area with cremators. And we got the Moonflowers, okay. So there's one over there, just over there, so you can, if you have the cremator, you can just like carpet bomb the area. There you go, I think we hit it. And so the Moonflowers can spawn in different locations. There's one over there as I showed you. There's one beyond those places, but there's also one over there, which is where the fireworks option starts. Which one you get is completely random, so you may have to backtrack. Unfortunately, the Moonflower one is not a particularly good one. It's pretty straightforward, but it's not very fun. Over here, you can kill a couple of these humans and just do one emote. Doesn't matter what the emote is, just do an emote whenever you kill a human. That's an optional goal. I find that the vomiting one is very quick, but you can do whichever one. Okay, this one will send us... There's a couple of paths. One is to simply follow the boardwalk here, and there's humans down there, and that's the ultimate goal. But there are paths in between that take you between the northern side and the southern side. In this case, we've got a couple more overgrown. Yeah, just let them die. And I think we'll have to go through here. Yes, I think this is the right way. And you recognize the Moonflowers by the blue glow. Just hit them with the cremator, they'll die. And now we have to backtrack, like I said before. Unfortunately, we have to kind of go back to the starting area. So in terms of time, the Moonflower option is actually the least effective, just because you have to backtrack sometimes. And this is the northern path, and as you can see, it will take us back to the square that we were just at. Oh, yeah, watch out for those guys. They don't make much of a noise, by the way, so you should be careful. And they have a nasty habit of spawning right behind you. Luckily, it doesn't matter if you die during expeditions, because you don't drop anything. Here we go, you will just cremate this guy. You can stick around and pick up the loot if you want. But the cremator is amazing against the overgrown. Ah, that guy nearly got me. Oh shit, I got hit. The hell is that? Oh, hello. Yes, if you use a cremator, make sure that you have stim packs or healing items. But usually you can just wait for them to die. But fire damage doesn't stack, so hitting them multiple times isn't really useful. But at the same time, if you happen to burn yourself with the cremator, which is almost guaranteed to happen, you're also not going to stack burning damage on yourself. So once you're on fire, you can just fire the cremator as many times as you like. That's one benefit. Anyway, once you've killed all the Moonflowers, go inside. And the second option you can get is to launch 7 fireworks in a row. In this case, you can see that this is the option that we've got, because the approach to play area location is closer than it was last time. that tells you that this is the fireworks option. So in this case, take the northern route, or the upper route. This place has a number of enemies, just carpet bomb the place with the cremator. And watch out for enemies spawning behind you. Yep, like that. Sneaky bugger. Just carpet bomb the place and you'll be okay. Wait. Oh, that's a keeper. Okay. So I was mistaken. It was actually the keeper. Usually the keeper spawns somewhere down there, but it is possible for them to spawn up here, obviously. Anyway, so you have to defeat the keeper, and whatever cohorts he may have, then loot the prison key, and then that will direct you to free some prisoners. Up here, that could be over there. There's two other areas in the upper section. One of them is inside the shop over here, which I believe is the case right now. Yes, it is. The third one is down that corridor. Let me kill these guys first. Yeah, those guys spawn from behind you. That's by design. Watch out for those guys. And the third cage is over there. Right? Okay, so I've come back to the first square, and that's where we killed the keeper. But if you look to the east, or down towards the water... I'm warning you? What? Really? Really? You gonna do that, are you? Overconfident he was. Now, the other location where you can find the prisoners is on this boat over here. Just inside there. And the final one is on the boat past this pier. Watch out for the Marlurks. Yeah, they're very persistent. Is he popping up? No, he's not. Or over there, right? Which is the case right now. So there's 5 possible locations for the prisoners. Now, if you have multiple people, it's not a bad idea to split up, and at least one take the waterway, and the other one take the upper way, right? That way you can catch all the prisons. If you want, you can kill some of these guys as well, but generally speaking, it's not really worth your time. But yes, just make sure that you emote, doesn't matter what it is. Generally, I tend to avoid emotes that are actually communicating with other people, right? Like, help me, or hello, or come here, right? I tend to use something neutral like that, the vomiting one, because it seems to be a bit shorter. And then after you freed all the prisoners, then the same thing, just go back into the pier. Yep, and this time we've got the option for the fireworks. So go through the upper entrance with your cremator equipped. Just carpet bomb the area, clear out the enemies. Some of them will spawn behind you. And this is the first firework. Oh, scummy bastard. He got me. He got me. You literally can't hear them coming up on you. Yeah, the cremator is the best option for these overgrown. Just carpet bomb the place. Now watch out for this one over here. Is he coming? Yep, he's starting to come. There you go. Get him. Oh. Make sure you get him, and then you can start launching the second fireworks. As long as you don't get hit by melee, you should be okay. There you go. The third one is on that boat over there. Just hit the place. You want to see 3 sets of damages, because there are 3 Marlurks, right? Now the king may not die immediately, so yeah, just finish him off. And the 4th one is on the second boat over here, but there's a couple of Marlurks over here. Just lurking, right? As they do. Hit them, and then let them die from the damage. Or just finish them off with something. Yeah, okay, fine. If you insist. Normally you can just wait for them to die, but yeah, sometimes. Now if you jump up from here, you should be able to avoid the guy spawning over there. So if you have multiple people in the group, it's not a bad idea for people to hop ahead, right? So one person sits here firing the firework, and the other people just go ahead and get ready. So as soon as one launches, the other ones can launch as well. But this particular goal is actually pretty straightforward. Just launch those 7 fireworks and go into the pier. Okay, and in this section you have 2 goals. One is to kill one of the twins. The other one is to find the teddy bear. The teddy bear can be in many different locations. And if you like Nuka-Colas, then there's a couple of machines that you should check out as you go through. Now if the teddy bear is shown to be pretty close, then it's likely to be up here. Just jump up and jetpack. Should be over there. That's one of them. In this case it looks like it's very close to the twin. But if it's to the left or to the right, then it will be either over here in the shop, right there on the fridge, inside, tucked away in the corner in the fridge, or if it's to the right, then it'll probably be over here, in this bin over here, right? Then you have to go through the arcade, and there's a twin. In this case, because the teddy bear is very close to the twin, it's over here. Oh no, it's actually just beyond them, isn't it? Yes, okay. It's just beyond them. Usually it can be right on that little ride over there. Right? So if it's not here, and it's close to her, then it's back here. Right there in the corner. This section has 3 optional goals. Escorting an NPC is one of them, so let's talk to them. Only the team lead can speak to them, by the way. Let's just go through. Yep. Now the tricky thing about them is that they often get stuck on things, and they often decide to change their direction, so they're very finicky. This is probably the worst option in here. Oh, there's more coke over there, yep. Now the goal is to go to one of these places and pick up some blood. So basically they're just gonna sit here and do and collect something, right? It's a time-based thing, and you have to protect them. Now the problem is that whenever they get hit or take damage, they're going to take a small pause, which slows them down, right? A couple of tips on dealing with the escort is that you should not get in their way. Try to make the path as open as possible for them. There's more Nuka-Colas over there. Right, if they come this way, just carpet bomb the place with your cremator. And get that area as well, and below. And they may set up here or they may set up over there, right? Which exact blood reservoir they go for is really not set. Sometimes they decide to change their mind halfway through, right? They may be going towards one and they change the direction towards another one. So be careful. Make sure that you always keep an eye on them. And if you're the team lead, always stay close to them. Always stay close to them, because otherwise they'll stop. And then you have to wait for their AI to reset again, so the team lead should always stay pretty close to them. If you have other people, then it's not a bad idea for some of them to go ahead or behind or to the side in order to clear the path. Yeah, so open the doors. Over here there'll be an enemy. So there was. Sometimes they kind of like change their minds about which door they want to go through. They're kind of annoying in that way, those NPCs. Just carpet bomb the place. Oh yes, and don't forget about the goals, yeah? Don't forget about emoting. It is very easy to miss out on that optional, just because you forgot. If they do get stuck, so yes, don't shoot the NPC and don't talk to them. Only do that if it looks like they're stuck, because talking to them will kind of reset it. But only the team lead can do that, right? Nobody else can. So everybody else should avoid interacting with the NPC, whether it's hitting them, trying to talk to them, or even bumping into them, right? Try to avoid touching them in any way. Okay, so the NPC is done. Okay, so this is the second option in the last area. And it involves chucking tomatoes at some stocked up showmen. If you're doing it solo, it's a good idea to sneak. If you cannot aim where I'm aiming at, you're kind of guaranteed to hit them, right? So a little bit high. They do have some very strong drop. But generally speaking, the targeting is actually quite generous. If you're lucky, you shouldn't have to fight any of them. But if you still have to meet the emote goal, then you may have to fight them as you leave. Oops, they saw me. That should be the last one, yes. Just finish you off and then chuck the grenade. Oops, did not get the grenade. That should be it. Okay, and finally, the last variation of the third phase is that you need to take over the shark's den and defend it against waves of enemies. Essentially, it's a bit of a siege situation. So for that, I would recommend pulling out the cremator. It's not here, but I'm just going to clear this, guys, because they'll come and follow me. Once you get to the shark's den, then you need to either go up the stairs or jump up and jetpack and activate the flag. That will start a timer. From then on, any enemies within this location will stop or slow down the timer. So you have to kill them ASAP. The best way I've found is simply to use the cremator and just bombard these two places. That's usually where they come. And they occasionally come from over there as well, but yeah, just blasting them with the cremator a few times is usually good enough. Oh yes, don't forget about emoting, right? There you go then. That should be the last one, yes. From then on, just keep blasting this way. Try and hit them through the door, right? Because explosions are actually quite big with the cremator. So if you get a couple of balls through the door, that should actually catch any enemies behind there. And watch out for this, yes. There you go, we got him. Ouch. So you can see there that we got a couple. There you go. So we managed to keep the enemies away from this area for long enough that the timer completed.
You're so close to your reward.
That leaves the twins to fight, right?
and perform in
You
one
can skip these
final
guys if you want, or you can get them for extra ammunition.
Here we are at the final showdown. Two parties, and only one will be crowned. Show me with all you have.
The flamer works amazingly because she has a tendency to disappear, right? Go invisible. There you go. That's it. That's it. If you're up with other people, it's not a bad idea to actually salute them, right? Give them a thumbs up or a heart.
You must. We'll handle that.
And after you're done, you'll spawn in this area. You can actually reach this spot by traveling to the expedition itself without starting it, and then just jetpacking upwards, right? So come here, then just jetpack upwards. I think you can use the marsupial mutation without jetpacking. Here. Yeah, there you go. You can get up here without the jetpack. But one of the reasons why you want to loot this place is because you tend to get Nuka-Colas and alcohols over here. If you need cigarettes, or money, or cloth, that's it over there. And over here, you can find usually you can find some drugs. I've already picked them up, so they're not there. And then after you're done looting, you can simply leave. So the stuff up there will actually regenerate once a day, right? So an easy way to come here is simply to travel, and then just hop up there, pick up the goodies, and then leave. And this right here is why you do these expeditions. 6 legendaries. So if you get all the objectives, you're guaranteed 6 legendaries. The quality and type will actually vary, of course, as you can see. But usually you tend to get a couple of 3 stars, and a couple of 2 stars, and a couple of 1 stars. This one's a particularly bad outcome, but it is what it is. Another thing you can take advantage of is the fact that whatever weapon you're holding when you leave will get extra ammunition. That's especially good if you use Gatling lasers. And you'll get 4 cores. They'll be at about 75% capacity, but 3 cores is 3 cores, so who cares, right? Good enough. And if you're after legendary modules, like say, in order to craft unique named legendaries to scrap, then you get a couple here as well. Oh yes, and also, you also get stamps, right? So if you need to get some bobbleheads in order to craft star modules, expeditions are obviously the only way to get stamps. So generally speaking, it's fairly obvious that the new legendary crafting was deliberately designed to encourage people to do expeditions. Pretty much all the rewards you get from expeditions are useful as far as the new legendary crafting system is concerned. In any case, expeditions are by far the best way to get as many legendaries as you want, and you can run them as many times as you want. So if you are looking for legendaries in order to scrap and try to learn plans, once the new legendary crafting system is live, well then expeditions it is.